Joining us right now is Intellistake CEO Jason Dussault. Jason, looks like the shutdown is over. Do you think that my assessment that the personal pain that some of those senators felt is what happened? They didn't like all those flight cancellations. Their kiddies couldn't get back from fall break, or their friends couldn't get back from wherever they were going. And that's what ended this. It's got nothing to do with any of their policies or any of their grandiose statements.
I'm just glad they finally broke this filibuster this morning. It's ridiculous. They got to spend a lot less time on TV making each other look bad and sit down and make deals. I mean, that's what they're elected for. They're supposed to sit down and make compromises and work for the American people. So I'm just glad that it's passed, and I'd like to see the House get in and get this across the line.
Now, the last time you joined me, you gave the U.S. economy a C+, but it was a gentleman's C+, not a Harvard C+. It was a C+ passing grade. Again, I tend to agree with you. I'm more of a B guy because I think there's more good than bad going on in the economy right now. I'm definitely worried about a couple things like real estate. But before we get into some of the specifics of the economy, are you still at the C+ level, or do you think things got better or worse since we last spoke?
Yeah, I think it's C+. I appreciate you moving towards a B. And certainly, we need to get through the shutdown. It's not only the government's not working, people aren't getting paid, our airlines are shutting down, but we're also not getting the economics numbers, right? We need to see the job numbers. So I'm going to delay that until we get back up and running, and we can look a little bit more at some of the facts on where we're at. I'm definitely bullish in the next year. So yeah, I'm going to stick at my C+ for now.
We heard this weekend President Trump wants to give people the option of a 50-year mortgage. And I like the idea. I mean, listen, I don't want people to be stuck with mortgages forever, but they'll sell and the banks will make money on volume, right? They may not make as much money on a 50-year mortgage that they would on a 30 or 15, but maybe they'll get 10 more buyers coming through the door every month.
Really what Americans want. I think what everybody wants is a safe home to raise their family. And, let's face it, home prices are higher. Inflation is, it's not in a bad place. We're around 3% in America. It's nice and steady, but life has been a little tougher out there for sure for these younger families. And I think anything that puts them into a home where they can raise a family is a great thing.
Now, let's get to a stickier issue, and that's the tariffs. Jason, the Supreme Court is considering whether or not President Trump has the authority to impose all the tariffs that he has imposed. And maybe the president is trying to put a little bit more pressure on the court by promising over the weekend, reminding people that he wants to give every taxpayer, a $2,000 tariff dividend. What do you think?
The problem with the whole tariff piece is that if the Supreme Court brings this down, he's just going to find another way to do it, right? I'm not a legal scholar, so I'm not sure what the justices, how they're going to come away from this. I really hope that they go with Trump on this one. I'd hate to see the American government have to write back those checks to these other governments. There's a huge opportunity to provide a stimulus to the hardworking Americans. We're so used to the money flowing in one direction through taxes. It would be nice to get it back for a change. And, he's talking about sending this to everyone. Not just the people at the top and not just the people at the bottom, but everybody. And that's what stimulates economies. And again, he's going to find another way around this if they don't vote his way. So I'm hopeful that they vote his way on the tariffs. When he first started bringing out tariffs, I wasn't sure how this was going to work. I was concerned about inflation going up and prices going up, but it really the disaster never happened. In fact, the opposite's happened. We're in a position where we can start writing Americans checks, which is something that I love. I want more of my money in my pocket than being wasted in the government, personally.
The tariffs have absolutely caused some economic effects, good and bad. One of the things I think that people need to understand about the tariffs is that, the Democrats, Jason, are just really, really trying to make everyone believe that the economy is in the dumpster. And whether you think it's C+ or B-, it's not quite in the dumpster, is it? And that's something that the American people need to know.
Yeah, it's very resilient. You also have to look at the tariffs. I mean, not only did they bring a bunch of money back into the country, but look at the deals that Donald Trump has been able to negotiate based on these tariffs. Again, it's thinking outside of the box, not thinking like a regular politician, where you spend most of your time just trying to save your job, raise money, and make the other party look bad. He's really used them to a huge benefit to the U.S., and I hope for the best.
Well, Jason Dussault, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for not being cut off by the shutdown and joining us this morning. We'll see you pretty soon. Thank you.
Nice to see you again.